As we're all probably aware of by now, Royce and Lupe Fiasco have a little beef going on. This all originally stemmed from a tweet, I believe, that RJ Payne put out, saying that no one can touch him or Ransom when it comes to rapping. A few weeks passed, and then Lupe put out a freestyle on IGTV. It was like 15 minutes long, and Royce responded. Seeing as I've already gone and broken down the lyrics to SLR 3.5, Lupe's response to Silence of the Lambda, it's only right that I go bar for bar and break down Silence of the Lambda as well. So, if you are new here, these breakdowns are basically where I go through, read out the lyrics, and give my interpretation of what the artist is trying to say. It's not always correct, and there may often be other meanings, so if I've missed something or misinterpreted anything, feel free to let me know in the comments below, because that way, everyone gets to learn a little bit of something. So, we start off.
Solidarity like that muscle we refuse to flex. That synergy that these niggas just refuse to tap into. In our disparity, match our hustle, we exude success. Attack us mentally, that's that energy kings get trapped into.
Solidarity is something that they refuse to flex, just in general, not necessarily between him and Lupe. At least, that's what I'm taking from it. Like, solidarity meaning, like, people working together, sticking together, and I think it's just a broad statement. People tend to not want to really come together and work for whatever reason. And that's just that. I mean, when you do have solidarity, you have synergy, but that is something that they just apparently refuse to tap into. He mentions how they get attacked mentally, and that's something that kings get trapped into. So, yeah, I mean, if you are being attacked mentally, if someone's just, even if someone just says something, that's somewhat of a mental attack, so you're going to be just thinking about it all the time, and that's something that you get trapped into.
Therefore I'm done promoting the dumb shit. I put a hole in your son while he holding your sun chips. While you over there with a chip on your shoulder like you over or some shit.
With all that said, he's like, alright, I'm done promoting this dumb shit. What this dumb shit may be is kind of hard to tell, at least for me. Maybe he's just talking about how Lupe and him have that podcast and they promote it, and like he was just trying to be nice maybe, and he was just promoting his stuff. I'm not entirely sure where he's going with that. The put a hole in your son while he's holding your sun chips, don't know. Lupe doesn't have kids as far as I'm aware, but he could be alluding to maybe someone else that acts as Lupe's son, or Lupe treats as a son. And then the chip on his shoulder, like Jehovah or some shit. The chip here might just be that, I mean, Royce did call him a bitch on IGTV or IG Live, so Lupe is clearly upset. I mean, as we saw in his diss as well. But then comparing him to Hov, I think that is more just because of this alleged beef between Jay-Z and Nas that they've always had, and which also now makes sense because on Lupe's track he did say, Hov call me Hov, Nas call me Nas. So referencing those two makes a little bit of sense there, or for Lupe to say.
Your flow is redundant. I separate your body from soul. Now your body is cold, spiraling out of control. Now you over there, body odor is pungent for coming out of your body over assumptions.
So now Royce is just coming at Lupe's style of rapping. He's saying that his flow is redundant. The way that he raps is just too samey, I guess. To be fair, I haven't really paid too much attention to that. That might be the case, but I haven't really paid that much attention to Lupe's flow being redundant, personally. But he's saying, I'll separate your body from soul. Like, he's going to just tear you apart at this point. Now, and after he does so, your body is cold, just dead, and I'm assuming your soul is what's spiraling out of control. And the body odor being pungent is the smell of the dead body. It also could be seen as the soul, I guess, because for coming out of your body over assumptions. But also, the for coming out of your body over assumptions is maybe Lupe took something out of context. Maybe something that Royce said was actually just him messing around, and Lupe took it too personal.
Look at all this passive-aggressive pussy and all the past neglectful positions these pussies put me in. We them cool niggas bringing food, liquor, and fullies in. They do all the yelling, then accuse nickel of bullying.
So all this passive-aggressive pussying, he's, again, calling Lupe out. He's like, yo, you're just being a pussy about it. Which, alright, cool. And then he's like, the whole all the past neglectful positions these pussies put me in, that just sounded dope. Like, that's a really cool structure there. But yeah, he's just like, these are just, places that they've put me in the past. Like, this is nothing new to him. But he then refutes that, basically saying, like, I'm not in these positions anymore, or these pussies aren't putting me in this position now, because we are those cool guys bringing the food and liquor and the foolies in, which is also just a call to Lupe's early works.
Cruelty to MCs is intellectual vibrato. Run a full speed to hit niggas with the message like Wallow. I bleed mentally, if I greed mentally, and sync with Neo and Stevie Sensory.
So the intellectual bravado is like the way they're singing. Like, if you're being cruel to an MC, they're gonna take that and, work it.
I squeeze till this ego completely empty. I'm three-dimensional, now feed me MCs, I'm greed and envy. Carlito, watch me go repo y'all sweeties Bentley. I skid mark through these thoughts with an arch, commit larceny.
Okay, so he squeezes until the eagle's empty. The desert eagle, he's gonna keep firing until it's empty. He's three-dimensional. Now, feed me MCs, I'm greed and envy. So I think he's just doing gluttony, greed, and envy. So those are the three things that make him up as an MC. Carlito, watch me go repo y'all sweeties Bentley. That's just a call to how Sweetie's Bentley got repoed after she broke up with Quavo. Or at least that was the story. I don't know how much of that was actually true.
I live hardly, to incarcerate means to kill softly. Either or it's me or Bill Cosby. They trying to kill a lord online premature. It's Biz Markie. Can't expect you to like me more than you love rap beef.
He lives hardly. I think that's more of like he's living hard or he's barely living. That's kind of a weird thing to say. But then he's like, to incarcerate me is to kill me softly, which I guess makes it sound like, I think he's really just trying to say, like, the things that he's doing, it's hard, and it's hard to kill him. But if you were to just incarcerate him, that would basically be killing him softly. Yeah, no, we're not talking about Bill Cosby now. They trying to kill Lord premature as Biz Markie. That's, like I referenced in the previous video, Biz Markie recently passed away due to complications from type 2 diabetes, and he was fairly young. He was like 57. So they're trying to kill Royce premature as Biz Markie. I would not have said that, given that it's literally been a week, which now makes sense for Lupe to respond as he did, using the Biz Markie line too. It's like, all right, well, if you're going to be disrespectful, I'll be even more disrespectful. And then it sounds like he's calling out Lupe for just starting beef. I guess you could say that. He's like, I can't expect you to like me more than you like rap beef. So maybe there was already even more issues between the two of them than what it sounded like Lupe was saying.
You respect white people more than you love black people. Shit. I let you race where the apes ate. I SMH, I let you naysay. Y'all legends ain't safe. I desecrate flex, I decorate sway.
I don't know that Lupe has said anything specifically about respecting white people more than he loves black people. But that is a very bold statement. He desecrates flex and decorates sway, though he freestyles on both those stations. And then he continues on.
I estimate 100 left, I let the case lay. I don't carry suitcases on big runs to Mars deep. I don't carry big guns to a small beef. I don't really care what Mickey Fax has to say, add Lupe. So
he estimates there's 100 freestyles left and 100 different stations for him to still go to. And he lets the K slay, so AK, but also DJ K slay. And then he just doesn't carry big bags when he goes on. He doesn't carry suitcases when he goes on big runs to the mall. I think that was just a lead up into the next line where he says, I don't carry big guns to a small beef. I don't carry big suitcases on these like expected big runs. Why would I bring a big gun to something so minor? Like, if I'm gonna come with nothing and leave with a bunch of stuff, why would I come with something big and then just deal with something small? But also it makes it sound like he's ill-prepared for when he goes shopping.
that's touche. I don't care for big gums and small teeth. You know the gold all froze if I'm a purchase bling. Just so you know, not a soul walking the earth is mean. Bow before the king, kiss the goat, all-purpose ring.
He doesn't care for big gums and small teeth. I haven't looked at Lupe's teeth, but I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. And basically just the rest of those lines are him just trying to say, like, if he's going to do something, he's going to go all out. And then he's just say, bow before the king, kiss the goat, all-purpose ring. I think he has a goat ring, so that's why he's saying that.
Water guard poses like a bow soldier versus meme. Y'all with all the jokes laugh hard, but y'all ridiculous. I'm with all the smoke, Matt Barnes, Shakari Richardson. Proving rap pays through the race cachet.
Continuing that bow before the king line, he goes in, he's like, while the god poses like a bow soldier versus meme. The Bow Wow and Soulja Boy versus happened recently, and there's all these memes about Soulja Boy saying that he was the first one to do stuff, so that's kind of where he's at. And he's just kind of touching on memes. He's like, y'all with the jokes, but he's with the smoke. Matt Barnes, Shakari Richardson, who recently was, I guess, removed from being able to go to the Olympics because after a drug test, it was revealed that she had smoked weed, which that's a different discussion entirely, but it's so stupid.
I'm the dude who they threw the case at like 8-track tapes. Blue A stacks and Peter Lugers to let your faith at stake. Who weighs at the Louis haters through the new Maybach drapes. We gon' do this for Kanye. If you could relate that straight, we come shooting for Conway. Ruger your face back straight.
He spent 8 stacks. He's waving at Louis haters through the Maybach drapes. It's like, I don't know, like these lines are just kind of like, okay, well, what do you... Like, I'm not too sure exactly what he's saying, but I could just be missing the references entirely. We gonna do this for Kanye. If you can relate, that's Drake. I think that's just touching on how Drake tries to... Or a lot of people can relate to what Drake raps about. But then him saying, we gonna do this for Kanye. Like, why are you saying that? And then we come shooting for Conway. That's not a diss at Conway. That's just him saying, like, if like he's homies with Conway, like if he needs someone to shoot for him or shoot with him, he's there.
170 on the dash, all the felonies and the demonic acts. With devils like Vlad, always selling me all of the trauma back. I speak to cabarets as a deviation of drama.
170 on the dash, he's driving 170 miles per hour, or it just says 170 and he's just saying that. All the felonies and demonic acts, so felonies and demon time, but also demonic acts just being bad things like killing people, I guess. And these are all the things that get brought up when people talk to Vlad. Vlad, who is just one of the worst people, because he makes it sound like he doesn't try to get all this information out of people, but then the information comes out anyway, and then people get in trouble. So.
Pastors and wave caps as a recreation of honor. Glad to appreciate black abbreviations of genres. Battle me ASAP, that's for PDA with Rihanna. These male betas with crying attitudes, I ain't mad at you.
And he's just glad to appreciate black abbreviations of genres, which then leads into ASAP Rocky. That's PDA with Rihanna. Public displays of affection with Rihanna.
My kind of fabric is well tailored to a Byron Allen suit. Superstar.
He's basically saying, like, what I'm made of is well tailored, and then he goes into the bridge, which is just in direct reference to Superstar by Lupe Fiasco. We then get a second verse, which different from Lupe, where he just goes straight through.
Usually I'm choosing piece of heaven, a tax home. From using celery ranch to moving into a new elegant ranch home. A true MC, y'all doing them regular dance songs. You losing your teeth, moving like using Kevin Durant comb.
So he's choosing piece of heaven or tax stones of the studios, and he's going from using celery ranch, which, I mean, if you're getting wings or something, you got some celery and ranch. And he's basically, like, I think he's just saying that's like kind of struggle food, because sometimes you can't eat, and like all they'll give you is just celery and ranch. And now he's like in an elegant ranch home, and he's just a true MCs instead of one of those other guys just making dance songs, which are like basically just an allusion to TikTok. And then you losing your teeth moving like you using Kevin Durant comb. That's messed up.
We share the light whenever the mic and drums get blacked on. The better knives than ever polite and young relaxed on. Here come the Thundercat song. Karate beef Miyagi, keep it completely boxer brief. Don't get waxed on.
We're shedding light whenever the mic and drums get blacked on. So whenever, the lights get turned out, or whenever people are being ignored or pushed away, he's shedding light, or people like him are shedding light. And then this bed of knives, it's not something to be taken lightly. It's never polite, and it's not to be relaxed on. And then he just comes right for Lupe again. Here comes the Thundercat song, Karate Beef Miyagi. Lupe is a nerd, and he is a martial artist, so that makes sense.
And that's the Ritz, I'm staying the night for writing the scripts that last long. I like my crackers dead and white, just like them shits the Shaq owns. Call me Big Cialis if she stalking, switch my address.
The Ritz being the hotel, but also the crackers, which he alludes to, and that he wishes were dead. And also I don't know what he's referencing as far as Shaq owning. I know Shaq is just kind of in everything, so it's likely that he is related or involved with some sort of cracker line, I guess. Then call me Big Cialis. I mean, is he talking about his dick? Cialis is an erectile dysfunction pill, so sure. But I guess he's saying that his dick's so big that she was stalking him, so he's got to switch his address. That seemed unnecessary, but all right.
Get Viagra, dick diagonal, liquor walls in this Niagara. This androgynous fly actress I'm involved with is my Astra. Lick my ass, and if y'all asking if I'm gassing, it's my asthma. Y'all listening to the master who's been talking to the masses.
Continuing the ED pill bit with Viagra, and then, cunning linguist. You know what I meant. I didn't mean the group cunning linguists. Anyways. And then this person that he's involved with is his AstraZeneca, who I don't remember if they produced one of those pills, but they are a pharmaceutical company. And then if he's gasping, that's just miasma. That's not him getting excited because you're licking his ass. What are you saying, Royce? I'm going too into that, I'm sorry.
Who's been listening to thy master through this targeted diaspora? Y'all get awards to get in wars, I spit water dilution. I'm balling, I hit record, I'm getting courted by Lucian. The Lord abuses the blacker culture with actors like Rappaport.
So, continuing on that master line, Royce is calling himself a master. He's been listening to thy master, like your master. Maybe he's talking about God.
Rapid chorus, distract you boys to the lower the nooses. The more important the news is, more distorted the views is. Vaxall, they employ loot to exploit the movement. To know it's cops killing black God is a mortal nuisance.
The more important news is, the more distorted the views is. Yeah, sure. Not as much recently, I would say, but in the past 4 years with the previous president and, yeah, all that. Yeah, there was a lot of distortion in terms of the news, and that distorts other people's views.
Holding your top is the last straw, like quarter juices. The more exclusive Dior, Gucci, the ported boosters. It's the more juvies and 42s that the court accuses. I wish Nick Cannon the testicular fortitude.
Hole in your top, that's the last straw, like quarter juices, so like juice boxes. Like hole in your top, your head, shoot you in your head. That's the last straw, like quarter juices. The more exclusive Dior or Gucci, no, none of that. It's imported boosters. That's more exclusive. And then he goes on to wish Nick Cannon the testicular fortitude, which he continues on with the next line.
The 40 new stepchildren to reject him with the cure to lupus. Pain ain't even frequent, just evil teasing the godly. It ain't even inside me. It's just weakness leaving the body. I flip my heritage, redefined it to die in jail.
Nick Cannon, if you aren't aware, has many children. I'm not gonna say anything about that. Just let him live his life, I guess. But Royce is basically saying, like, I hope you have more children so that one of them can figure out a way to find the cure to lupus.
Buy and sell for my clientele, but without the mind's help. Ryan, big alliances, click alliances, iron elk. Built a giant pyramids in alignment with Orion's belt. Well, you ain't got to lie, you a hostile guy.
Buy and sell for my clientele without the mind's help. I think that's in reference to the Sons of Anarchy, like their second, or like their spinoff. I haven't watched either of them, but for sure maybe drug dealing there. And then Royce has big alliances. He's got a clique of lions who are eyeing the elk, their prey. But then he goes on to say, I think this is directed to Lupe again, you ain't gotta lie, you're a hostile guy. I guess, sure. I mean, Lupe is the one who started off with a long freestyle, so I guess you can consider him hostile in that sense. But I think he was also just trying to be like, no, I'm checking all the boxes. Or trying to say that he was.
Like you about to ride with new entourage, but you not too wise. You been ostracized, used to rock with Nas. You was hot July, but look at you now, you just off to ride. Loaded Luck said if we battle, then he gon' sit with Luke.
So he's basically saying like, you think you're gonna be riding with his new entourage, but that's not really wise. Like, you used to rock with Nas, but now you're just rocking with these other guys. Like he was saying, you was hot. Which, yeah, to be fair, Lupe did decline in popularity. I will say that. I think that was a lot due to everything Lasers onward. Like, Lasers was just a very low point, and then that lost him a lot of fans, and not too many people returned, I feel. But it could also be the way that Atlantic handled him, and there's a whole lot of other things that could be involved here. But then he goes on to say, Loaded Lux said if we battle, we gonna sit with Lou. Loaded Lux being the battle rapper, he's gonna side with Lupe. And I think that's what he's saying, like this entourage, like these are these new guys that Lupe's aligned himself with. He's like, that might not be the best way to go.
I told him, you're dead if we battle, now who gon' sit with you? I'm the great MC, all the ladies see, all the ladies see. In HD and 1080p, and this shit for publicity. You and Mick couldn't mix your written.
So I don't know if he's talking to Loaded Lux or Lupe, but he's saying, if we battled, you're dead. Now who's gonna sit with you? Maybe he's talking to Loaded, but one of the two. Basically, he's saying, like, I will beat you in a battle. And he's basically saying, like, it will be on a big display. Like, there's no latency. Like, the latency is them. Like, the delay. He's in, and all this is going to happen in HD. He couldn't spring for 4K, though.
Spit good as a pick of me. Stop it and sit with the dog, quit with the hickory dickory. This Oscar de la Rente club is on the Kunta Kinte to the fuller school of pimp play, offering the full of template.
So he's basically like, you can't rap as good as me. You can't even rap as good as a picture of me. So stop all this and just quit it, basically.
It's hard to differentiate. Oh, dog with who Lorenz take. Judas from Ingrate. Who the students from who the sensei. The Carter mascot. Forest moving packs on the back block. Nobody argue with Shaq while rooting to Kimbe.
He's basically saying it's hard to differentiate who's who at this point. Like, who's a student, who's a teacher, who's a mascot, who's the car, or whatever else he's saying. Like, the lines are getting blurred.
Take your mama out on a date at the Barclay like I'm Drake on the parquet. Call the Uber soon as the rent paid. When it's the last shot with a second left and second best is an RJ's. Need to get used to moving with MJ.
So the take your mama on a date at the Barclays like I'm Drake on the parquet. That's in reference to, I think, how Drake recently was seen with the mother of someone who was on LeBron's son's basketball team. If that tracks. The second best and RJ's need to get used to moving with MJ. So this is him shooting at RJ Payne.
Everybody grinding on Allen Iverson cornrows. Heavy grinding on every island under the Congos. I have not encountered violent exchange through a convo. So I don't holler, I do the bodies James and John Doe.
Everyone Bronner or Allen Iverson cornrows. Everyone's trying to copy them. Everyone's grinding heavy on every island out of the Congos. They're just trying to get out. He hasn't encountered a violent exchange through a conversation, so he doesn't holler. So like conversations don't lead to violence.
We can kick it, be specific, or meet with my Timberland soul. Y'all timid and bold, y'all feminine trolls, pretending to smoke. Got bitches sniffing on Minnie and Blow. I'm Benny, I'm Kenny and Cole. I'm Bimmy and Poe, I'll hit my enemy and chalk any opposed.
He continues on the fighting lines with, you can meet my Timberland soul. Like he's gonna kick him or stomp him out. And then y'all timid and bold, but also you're just trolls. Like, you're just saying these things to troll. You're not actually about any of it. Don't know who he's exactly talking about there, but presumably the people online just trying, like, egging this whole beef on. And then the Armenian blow, he's Benny the Butcher, who is well known for coke rap.
If Umi says you really to go, who trying to hit him the most? I'm hollering that we outside just like my nigga King Los. I hardly hear you be outside, let y'all be whispering low. We back outside with lying ho. You sound like Remy and Joe.
If Umi said you were the goat, who trying to hit him the most? Which is in reference to the Mos Def song, Umi said. And then he's saying, we back outside, just like King Los would be saying. I haven't heard him say it, but that might be in reference to the battle that he had with Daylight. Again, I didn't get to see that. I didn't have time.
No, watch the reactions of your kids. Masculinity ain't what's toxic, the absence of it is. I'm Jill Scott playing, Gil Scott Heron, with Preem, her and D'Angelo, Queen serving me cantaloupe.
Watch the reactions of your kids. So watch what your kids are doing, how they're reacting. Masculinity isn't what's toxic. Like, but he's saying that the absence of masculinity is more toxic than toxic masculinity. Sure, I think that's just talking about how there are a lot of times in like single family households, it's usually the father who is not there. That seems to be changing now, but it was a bigger issue before.
Hammock low, swerve lambs on Atlanta roads. Earl animal man go. First lamb of the nana go. The pearl handle will ammo go. Answer roll with your girl Nana or Anna go.
Hammock low, swerve lambs on Atlanta roads. So he's in a hammock, chilling. And then just swerving the Lambo on Atlanta roads.
Cancel culture's annual Santa Po is the anecdote. Cancer don't take for granted, no family though. The streets won't hand us no manual, so we go Hansel Emmanuel. You forgot the dude who about to shy, who was locked inside.
Oh, but the next bit that was or the last part there, you forgot the dude who about the shy was locked inside. Carries on into
without him you be dead, probably dread standing beside you. Fed salmon and lied to while the red camera disguise you. You violent, but where was that for the Craig Calvins and Kaisers? 9-minute freestyle about me, I had to make fun of, bro.
So he's talking about Chili, who is basically Lupe's mentor and has been in jail for quite some time and will be in jail for a little bit longer. And he's basically saying, without Chill, you'd be dead. And you'd just be there dreading, with dread standing beside you, sorry. But also just maybe in reference to how Lupe used to have dreads. And he's basically saying, like, you were lied to, which I'm pretty sure Lupe was pretty offended by. Which is also really funny because Royce later on said he's not going to attack Lupe personally, which... Alright.
I got plenty problems, my nigga. Rapping ain't one of those. Rapping ain't one of those.
Yeah, sure. Makes sense. Royce was eventually going to respond, I'm sure. So I'm not too surprised that he did. So these two tracks are completely different in my mind. This track, for me, is more about wordplay and lyrics and metaphors. Lupe's track was more direct. Kind of preference in terms of what you prefer. I did enjoy this. This was fun. Like, it was a lot more to think about and really try to understand. With Lupe's, it was a lot more like, here you go, that's that. Although, like I mentioned in that video as well, it was only SLR 3.5, so maybe he's just kind of going light. And if SLR 4 comes out, he'll just kind of go in even further. But we don't know yet. I did enjoy this track as well. Although, I think the biggest issue I had with it is just the delivery felt a little bit more meh. But I think that might have been what he was going for. Like, he wanted to just make it sound like this is nothing to him. Like, this is just whatever. And if that was what he was going for, he did it really well. Like, he didn't even make it sound like he was trying too hard. So, that was well done in that case. If you know me, like, you know that I am a pretty big Lupe Fiasco fan. And in recent years, I've kind of veered away from Royce just based on some of the statements that he's made. But, you know, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate Royce. Royce still did have a pretty good track. Personally, I still think I prefer the Lupe track. Maybe it's just because, like, as an overall song, I enjoyed it more. But this one definitely had a lot more to look at and a lot more bars in it. So it's really preference at this point, I would say. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this track. I know a lot of people really like the Lupe track, and when I did a poll on IG the other day, people were leaning a little bit more towards Lupe. It was like 66% to 33%. But yeah, let me know what y'all thought here. Do you want to hear another track come out? I mean, it sounds like Royce is gonna entertain the idea at least. So we'll see. I mean, their podcast is officially over now too, so there's that. But I'm interested to see where this goes. Hopefully it doesn't lead to anything too crazy. But we'll just have to wait and see. With that said, like I said, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this track and who you think is gonna win at the end of the day. Also, let me know if I missed something or misinterpreted anything, because there was a lot here, honestly. And this is already a very long video, so I didn't want to spend too much time on each individual bar if I didn't know what they were saying. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more breakdowns and content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.